All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business today and see, if these two Google searches, local search and city search, have BSS, yes or no. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the number one boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that in the pinned video, pinned post, home video, wherever. That's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. A rise in boudoir photographers, rise in business, probably pulling peeps from the entire intent spectrum here. All the way on the left, the highest intent people, all the way on the right, the lowest intent people. And when a boudoir photography business is falling, they're missing some chunk of people somewhere on this, on this intent spectrum. So here we focus on way on the left, the highest intent people, focusing on BSS. These highest intent peeps are searching for boudoir photo shoots literally in our city right now on social search, social media search, and Google search. And all the way over on the right, the lowest intent peeps, that's our other brand, our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we're talking about BLCS. And currently we only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand per month on boudoir Facebook ads. Lowest intent people, but it's the highest volume of peeps in our city that exist. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots, we're dying a fast death here because that means we're on page 2 or deeper. And we also know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches, which means, dude, approximately 80% of the peeps, literally the bulk of the market, would never even see us if we're on page 2 Google search. So we definitely got to be on page 1, but 1 slot on page 1, that ain't enough. We're looking the same as everyone else. Every other boudoir photographer is going to have 1 slot. And, a buyer is just going to be, clicking everyone on page 1, open them up, contacting them, price shopping, comparing, and, you know, they 80% ain't even going to page 2. So we're really only competing against page 1 peeps over here. So that is boudoir search sameness. Now, 0 out of 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Extremely common, but it's not normal. To have such few page 1 slots on Google, it's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know about this one. It's where, people get a new iPhone and they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying that they, offer boudoir, throwing up their website, ranking on page 1 on Google. And also, if they get new camera, if someone gets new camera posted in the mom Facebook groups that they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. So most people know about that. Also, big market saturation. When COVID happened, a lot of people lost their jobs, still earned money. And dude, everyone who's got his phone has got a great camera, so a lot became boudoir photographers. Why there's a massive deluge of boudoir photographers in at that time. Next, we got the false belief of page 1 equality. So this, from what I've seen, is the number 1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is the false belief. So the belief of page 1 equality is, basically every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's how the cookie crumbles. And maybe you had 1 slot on page 1, but some more boudoir photographers came into the market, and your website got pushed to page 2 on Google, and you're like, that's how it is. It is what it is. But no, that is incorrect. That's not normal. That's the false belief of page 1 equality. What's actually true is Google actually wants to give us and will give us, or wants to give and will give the as many page 1 slots as possible to whoever puts in the effort to take them. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 in Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in 10 days utilizing this new methodology we've developed. So false belief of page 1 equality, it's not real. Everyone is accepted as real, everyone is accepted as normal, and it's not. That's completely wrong. So because it's kind of like a brain cage, people don't even see it's possible to break out of it, so they don't even know solutions are out there. but we do have the solution now. And but before that, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. I mean, think if we're on page 2, we got 0 slots on page 1, then basically, nope, approximately 80% of searches ain't never going to find us. So we're disappearing. If we're one slot on page 1, we look the same as everyone else, being price shopped. Um, we're not standing out. We're not getting any subconscious bonus points. And so, disappearing boudoir photographer, this is the canary in a coal mine to a disappearing boudoir photography business. So if we got BSS, we know we're disappearing. We're going down the wrong path here. That's the signal for us that, hey, we got to turn things around. Luckily, we do have the solution. We have it because we created it. We invented this. It's called the S-cubed methodology, social search saturation. It is doing exactly what it says. We're saturating social search with the highest intent keywords, so it can be found on search on social media. People search those keywords for boudoir photo shoots in their city, and these are kind of like the small rivers on the backside of the Andes Mountain that then flow into the large Amazon River, which would be Google. So these results flow into Google, page 1 of Google, and this is the only solution that I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually successfully fight back and overcome and still grow a business in the face of market saturation and get results relatively quickly, because the only other solution for that is a strong brand, which takes years, 5 or more years, probably more than a decade to acquire. So S-cubed methodology gets results way faster than that, and it actually accelerates becoming a brand name as well. So, imagine let's say we got a million boudoir photographers. Dallas, Texas, we're one of them. Everyone's got their websites and their boudoir photographer. Find a rank page 1 on Google. But let's say we crank S-cubed methodology up to the max, where we're occupying like the first 300 slots for the highest intent keywords across the 4 major social networks. And as a result, that flows onto Google. We're occupying the first 300 slots on Google for the highest intent keywords as well. Then anytime anyone in Dallas is searching for a boudoir photo shoot, dude, they're basically only going to see us for the first 30 pages, because Google's 10 organic slots per page. So a buyer's basically got to hit page 31 to bring in any or find a bunch of other competing boudoir photographers in Dallas. So we're saturating everywhere: social search, Google search, wherever they look. So who business is growing, even though there's 1 million boudoir photographers in the city? Only ours. And that's because we would have taken S-cubed methodology to the max in the face of extreme market saturation. Now, once BSS is treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. Now, a bonus of this is that for every 1 slot we get on Google page 1, we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Because we know approximately 80% of boudoir of Google searches never go to page 2. They are page 1 only searches. So it's kind of a bonus effect of us getting way more page 1 slots on Google. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. This is where we have our GBC recommended minimum of, we want to actually hit 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google minimum. And the reason for that is, everyone else is basically going to have 1 slot. So our 3 slots to their 1 slot. First of all, we've kicked out 2 more competitors to be compared against, or maybe even 3 if we had started with 0 slots. And, searchers, buyers subconsciously are going to say, like, why is Google recommending this person 3 different times? I'm going to click into them first and maybe not even look at the other people on page 1. So that's 3 slots versus 1. Very, very rarely someone will have 2 slots. So we'll still be looking at as the better option by having 3 slots over the one that has 2 slots. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the twin horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. But finally, Thankfully, we have a solution here. S-cubed methodology works way faster than building a brand that takes a decade. And we achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So now my results here using S-cubed methodology for myself. I want to rank for the term, see right up here, BLCS boudoir. And so let's go down to the organic slots. So we got slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So literally, I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days utilizing S-cubed methodology for myself. All right, so now we're here, the main event. You're gonna see that this boudoir photography business has BSS for their local search. Gonna see if they have it for their city search. All right, so here we go. Boudoir photographer, Roseville, California. So let's see what we got here. All right, we got one. Let's see. All right, we got 2. All right, so we got 2 out of 10. So we do not have BSS for the local search, but we did not hit the recommended GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. So now let's look at the full city search. Sacramento. So let's see here. Let's see, we got nope, 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 nope. Nope. All right, so it looks like we got 0 out of 10 here for Sac. All right, so we're missing a bunch of Sacramento peeps. All right, so final verdict, we got, well, we do not have BSS for Roseville, the local search, but we did not meet the GBC minimum, recommended minimum of 3 out of 10. And for the city search, yeah, we got BSS. We're at 0 out of 10 there. And we're actually, we also did not meet the recommended GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 organic page 1 Google slots. All right, so you're disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local searches, you've done your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you've had 0 or 1 slots. So you've had BSS for at least one of those, and or you have not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google for any one of those, and you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality. So you actually know Google wants to give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to take, and you're seeing S-cube methodology is the only way forward, the only path forward to acquire all those slots. It's actually, you've been waiting for something like this. And you're liking the initial benefits of S-cube methodology, more slots page 1 on Google. You really like that page 1 on Google. You actually really can kick your competitors off page 1 on Google, effectively making them invisible or making them disappearing and make their business go down the path of disappearing. So you really like that. And you actually want, actually looking ahead because you understand market saturation and you're realizing that AI is going to be taking more and more people's jobs. So not only do you need these slots on Google, you actually need to overslot on Google. You need to fortify your position for all of the new boudoir photographers that are going to be entering the marketplace. And as a result, the only solution you can see that'll help you fortify your position on page 1, literally get like so many links to page 1 that Google can't even rank all your links on page 1, and they push you back to taking over page 2 and 3 and 4 because you got so many page 1 backup links. The only solution you see that can provide that benefit is S-cube methodology, basically like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city's below sea level, so fortifying it against the ocean. You're fortifying this against current boudoir, current boudoir photographers getting anywhere on page 1, and also any future boudoir photographers or AI is taking their jobs, force them to become boudoir photographer, ever ranking page 1 as well. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility. You want to become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility because you know you need these things on your way to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. You also understand SQ methodology is basically building invisible thematic keyword columns on the, kind of out in cyberspace, basically in the AI mindshare in cyberspace, kind of have these columns connected to your brand, your business name, your social handles out there in cyberspace where AI really cares about, repetition, relevance, frequency, authority, age of all these invisible thematic keyword columns. And every day we successfully execute methodology and grow those columns, increase those columns. We're increasing the probability we show up here AI overview, which means we're also increasing which is the most premium search placement there is. Cannot pay for this. And we're also increasing the probability that AI search recommends us. And we don't get any of those benefits paying for any ads. This is only through S-cubed methodology. And increased probability AI search recommends us, and that'd be things like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, kind of increase in probability we show up in these searches, which these searches increase every single day in usage. I remember the last time I searched ChatGPT for boudoir photographers in a city, it gave me 3. And I actually went and did a manual Google and search and Facebook search. And dude, there's like 60. It's like, man, we got to find some way to get one of these 3 slots. And yeah, SQ methodology is the only solution you see out there that does increase that probability every day that we successfully execute it. And you're also like in that, it can help you create a large, well-known brand, approximately 8x faster than every other method. So market saturation becomes less and less a problem for you. And imagine if you continue using SQ methodology when you have a large, well-known brand, essentially be, unbeatable. And you also understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And so as a result, you're liking that you can get all these benefits, but also exclude your competitors from getting all these benefits. And you can actually build up, you can kick them off their first pages, Google, fortify page 1 against them to never actually increase, never actually get back onto page 1, essentially. And you can also build up such a large kind of gap with the backend AI mindshare with those keywords, those invisible thematic keyword columns, that your competitors in the city really have no chance to ever catch up to you. So you decide to be a first mover and actually acquire all these things, all these benefits, and exclude your competitors from getting all these benefits. And you understand the converse, where if one of your competitors in your city was a first mover and signed out with me before you, they'd be getting all these benefits. You'd be kicked off page 1 on Google, maybe even page 2, relegated, way deep in the catalog. Definitely be disappearing. You would definitely be a disappearing boudoir photographer. We'd then be fortifying it, page 1 against you ever climbing back on there. We'd be building the backend AI keyword mind share for your boudoir photography competitor in your city, building up their brand, building up a gap so large that basically no other competitor, including you, could ever reach them. And in order to compete with that, you would have to rederive SQ methodology all on your own. And once you rederive that all on your own, you'd never actually be 100% confident you derived it correctly. You would actually have to then go successfully execute it every single day, same as us. And then when you do that, the most that you would get is you would maintain the gap me and your competitor have already built in front of you because you'd be equaling our output each day. So you'd have to actually 2 to 3x our effort every single day, but it'd be hard to commit that much time because, again, you're not even 100% confident you've derived the strategy correctly in the first place. And, to do all this, who's got 80 hours in the day? So you're deciding, screw that. You decide you're going to be the first mover in your city. And as a result, that's you. Shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed because the hospital is currently closed for new patient intake. But when the hospital does reopen for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.